Hey guys, I'm going to talk about co-writing today. I have had a lot of people ask me, Erin, why do you co-write so often? How do you pick your co-writers? Why do you like co-writing? Do you think I should co-write? I've done a video, if you go to my playlist, the indie author playlist, I think. I would hope. But I'm not always so organized. But anyway, in there, and I'm pretty sure it's the indie author playlist, I do talk about how to sort of choose a good co-writer for you. But this is going to be a little bit different. I want to talk about my own personal experiences with co-writing and why I do it. I always tell myself, no, you're not going to co-write. You need to write, a couple books on your own and then go back to co-writing. And then I find myself slammed into like 3 or 4 co-writes at the same time. And very rarely do I regret it. Here's why I'm so hooked on co-writes. Well, I know there are downsides, and there's always downsides to everything. I think the number one thing that I get out of a co-write that I can't sort of give to myself is, well, I like the surprise. I'll talk about my co-writing process and that'll make more sense. But it's the enthusiasm that comes with having a co-writer that knows the story as well as you do, that's as invested in the story as you are, and who really sort of gets where you're going, and will surprise you. It's a challenge to me to write and not know where the book's gonna go. I am for sure a pantser. I didn't start out that way, but that's who I am now, and don't think I'll ever go back. I'll go back if I had to, because say I was in like an entwined anthology where I had to be really plotted out because I only had like a small amount of space. Then I would go back to outlining and planning more. But the way that I write, my process of writing has grown into way more pantser than it ever started out. My process for co-writing. There are some of you out there watching right now that have said, Erin, I want to co-write with you. And I always say, hold up, you may not. This is my process. It doesn't matter who it is. Generally, it's me, just because I happen to set up the file. I like to write in a formatted form, just because it saves me that step of having to format the book at the end. So I will set up the whole book, the title, the authors, the dedication, chapter 1. Generally with my co-writes, I prefer to do 2 points of view. So, and I do a lot of books solos with 2 points of view anyway. But the reason that I do this is very specific. I tend to write in first person and prefer to write that way. The co-writers I have had so far, other than one that I can think of, maybe 2, their natural voice is first person. While my natural voice is first person present tense, 90% of my co-writers' natural voice is first person past tense. So I have learned very quickly to adapt to that and write in first person past. I can do it as naturally as my natural voice now, but it did take me several books to get there. And the reason for that was I just found that I want the challenge, so bring it on. I'm just gonna learn how to do this. And it took me a while, but I got there. Now I'm there and I can write in either one. So what I'll do is I'll just start the chapter as one of the characters. I do this intentionally because it's easier with a co-write. When you're done with a co-write, you want it to read like one person wrote the book, not 2 different people. So a trick to co-writing is have 2 points of view. No 2 characters are going to think and talk the same, right? So that gives the author both authors the freedom to have their voice and their style, especially when it comes to dialogue, be very different from yours without it screwing up the flow of the book. So I tend to write that way, and it works out really, really well. At least so far it has anyway. And yeah, that's kind of how I set it up. But then after I write that point of view, we always start with a blurb. We have to have some clue of where we're going. Part of that's because I cannot write without a cover. So I've got the cover, the title, a blurb. Then I will just dive right into character A. hand the book off to my co-writer. I don't tell them, hey, do this, do that. No, I don't tell them anything. Maybe I say hurry, because that's just the truth. But I don't tell them a plan at all. They have a blurb. That's all they need to know. Make this book fit the blurb, and I'm doing the same thing. I'm making the book fit the blurb. Away they go. They send back chapter 2. Remember, that's in a different point of view. Now I have chapter 3. I go right back to my chapter 1. Where did I leave off? Great. Obviously, I have to incorporate whatever my co-writer wrote in chapter 2. Great. Now we have a chapter 3. And of course, you're always setting up your co-writer for their next chapter. Now, are they going to catch the ball? I don't know, maybe 40% of the time. But it's more fun when they don't, because the book becomes twistier more naturally. They're trying to pull their way, you're trying to pull your way, and you usually end up on a completely different path, and the book is so cool. So to me, that's what I love about co-writing. It's that element of surprise. It's the collaboration. It's having someone else who knows the book as well as you do, who's as invested as you are, and getting to play with voice, tense, that challenge of making the book blend well. I love that. I love a challenge. So yeah, those are the reasons that I cannot ever say no to a co-write. Now, there are some that are harder than others. We will talk Petunia. So Petunia is the sex doll series that I write with Rena Marin. I'm starting to say it right. Is it Marin or Marin? No, I've got it right. Okay. They'll say I have it wrong, but I know. It's definitely Marin. Okay. So anyway, whatever. That series is, I don't know. We always say no more dolls. And then Samantha Talrico, if you go to my backstory playlist, you'll know who she is, will come in. She's a Crazy Ink editor. Read the Petunia books in a southern accent, and the next thing you know, the idea for another doll is born. So again, it's sort of the same thing. This time it's reader enthusiasm. That will keep me going back for more, even when I say I'm not going to do any more. Oh yeah, there's always more. So, dolls for days and co-writes for days and blah, blah, blah. Another reason that I do a lot of co-writes more than I used to is because, frankly, they're half the work and they're faster. And when you're running a publishing company and you're trying to figure out how I'm going to make money, not publishing money, but other money, during COVID, and not, have to go into the world, so you're going to do online income in different ways, and you're kind of playing with that. How can I get a lot of books out there quickly and still juggle the workload? I have never had more work in my life as I do now. I know a lot of people, they lost their jobs, they got laid off, whatever, different things happened, and sort of found themselves bored. I'm not having that. I'm having the opposite of bored. I'm having, oh my God, I need to start sleeping 3 hours a night instead of 4. And so for me, it's harder to write solos right now. One, I'm not as motivated because I'm not accountable. It's easy to say, you know what, Erin, you'll do it tomorrow, and then go to sleep. But when I know that I have co-writers waiting for that next chapter, and that I'm screwing up their flow or their day or their schedule or their plan, it makes it way easier for me to make myself write, no matter how tired I am. So that's another reason I'm doing so many. Another reason is that a lot of authors are missing deadlines right now. We can't afford to have holes in the release schedule. So the way to fill them is to take my fastest writers and the people that I co-write with the best and just slam them with co-writes. And so far, so good. They're not telling me no yet. I do expect to be blocked and probably deserve it. So yeah, that's why you're seeing a lot of co-writes. I know many people have asked. I also know many authors have asked, why are you doing this? It's not some wild, secret, grand plan. It really isn't. I enjoy it. It's quick. It's efficient. When I write with people who have written with me before, they know the routine. They know, okay, she gives me the chapter tomorrow, I'm going to give her a chapter, and she's going to give me one. And it literally, so each chapter is between 1,500 to 2,000 words-ish in the things we're doing, because we're working on novellas generally. So you figure, if every single day For 20 days, you swap 2,000 words. Maybe I'm dumb, probably I'm dumb. But is that not 40,000 words? Because I feel like it is, and I also feel like it takes about 20 days with a co-writer who gives you a chapter a day. So in a month, you can write a good-sized novella with very little pain with this process. Now, obviously, you need to go back through the novella, self-editing, editors, all of that stuff. But to get that initial draft out is so quick with a co-writer when you're talking about a book that's between 30,000 and 50,000 words. So that's what's happening. That's why I'm doing it. I am still working on some solo projects, but I'm also super ahead. I right now have solo books done, I would say about a year ahead, maybe 8 months. I am really ahead though. I have all of 2020 done. Anything releasing this year is absolutely done and edited. So I can afford this right now. I also have big plans, Crazy Ink has a list run coming. I can't be writing during that. I'm going to need to focus on marketing. So that's why a lot of this is happening. I'm building my backlist. I'm filling holes for people that cannot write right now because they're homeschooling or they're thrown off, or they've got income challenges or whatever it might be. So I'm filling those gaps, and frankly, I'm just having fun. I don't know of a more fun thing to do than write a Petunia book. I really don't. Rena and I just laugh. She doesn't even know I'm laughing half the time because it's not like I report back, that one made me laugh. And I know it's the same for her. It's just a fun process. And I think sometimes when you get to year 6 of this and you have 100 books, you forget, hey, the reason you started this was not author rank. It wasn't USA Today. It wasn't I want to be a publisher. It was I love to write. I love what I do. I love to make people laugh. I love to entertain. Probably not in this way, but I've even gotten okay with this too. I used to be like terrified of cameras, and now, again, Kat, an enthusiastic reader, pushed me outside my comfort zone, and here I am even on YouTube. So even though 2 people will watch this video, and it's not really like a huge crowd here, it is something new that I was able to try because of Book World. Just like when I write with a co-writer, there's always something new I get to try because there's no way I would have done it that way. But that way isn't always the right way, and frankly, when you have as many books as I do, you get stuck in ruts. So co-writing opens me up and says, Erin, live a little, take a risk, challenge, let the book go in a different way than you planned. Maybe even go off blurb for a little while. And that's what's fun. So yeah, that's why I write a lot of co-writes. Probably more reasons than that, but 3 o'clock in the morning, I should probably get to sleep. I am gonna finish a chapter before I do. I hope you guys are doing well. I'd love to hear your thoughts on co-writing. I'd love to know if you've done it, what you like about it, what you don't. I mean, I could easily do a video on what's not good about co-writing, but right now I'm in a happy co-writing place. I have several more planned with people that I just know will follow through, and that is, it makes it fun, it makes it easy, it makes it quick, it makes it painless, because honestly guys, writing can be painful. It really can be a chore, and when I see myself getting to that place, I have to reel it in and make it fun again. It's like I talk about with self-care. You gotta reel it in and make it fun, and I think working on Murder Maker did that. It's not a co-write, but it's an entwined anthology, and it really has the same impact. And I'm super excited for the next Murder Maker because I know that person is going to be terrified like I was, be up for the challenge like I was, and do a hell of a job, which I don't even know if I did, but hey, anybody that's gonna judge somebody for trying and putting themselves out there, yeah, that won't happen here. I know that the writers and authors in that anthology are gonna love it, even if it's not the way they would have done it. And what a cool thing. You know, it's cool to have other authors invested in your work the way you are theirs. And that's what you get with co-writing. That's what you get with entwined anthologies. That's what you get with anthologies sometimes, in some cases. Even box sets here and there. It's nice to have a writer tribe, author tribe. Sarah, I can't say her last name, but she always talks about tribe on YouTube. Well, I have no tribe on YouTube. I don't know anyone here. But I do on other platforms. And some of these people are just the best resources in the world to get me able to find my muse whenever he's missing. My dog just looked at me because I call him Milo Muse. Let's not wake him up. All right, guys, until next time, happy writing, happy co-writing. Let me know your thoughts on this, and we will talk soon. Bye.